Twin Talker. We're so excited to be here with you guys and that you're here with us.
Yes.
We're about to get it in today. We're feeling good.
Yes.
It's a great day out here. And we appreciate you guys tuning in and turning up with us. Hold on a second. We got some stuff going on here.
We got our own self popping in on our own show. How about that?
Right.
I love it. But we appreciate you guys for chiming in with us, hanging out with us each and every week. We love it.
For real. So we got a great topic that we have going on here today.
We do. We're going to be talking about questions an athlete can ask when choosing a college.
Exactly.
This is a great topic.
So for all you athletes in high school, you're looking, even if you're a freshman, sophomore, these are great things you can get as, colleges start looking at you for recruitment and things you need to know.
You need to have these questions in mind so you don't get caught off guard.
Exactly.
So that's kind of what we're going to be doing. We're going to kind of walk you guys through some questions that you can ask that can help you with this.
Because you need to really make sure the college that you choose is a perfect fit for you. Because that's so important. You just can't go out here and choose a college because, you think they're winning all the championships or this and that. You know what I'm saying? You got to make sure y'all perfect match.
Yeah. Woo. So stay tuned.
Hey, get your game on.
TwinSportsTV.
Hey, we so pumped. We got a great topic today because we're here to drop some knowledge to help you guys. That's what our platform is for. We're here doing our live streams because we want you guys to have all the information and knowledge to be successful.
Right.
So whatever we can do to help you guys in that, that's what we're here for.
Right.
We're here to share the knowledge to help it make so it'll be kind of an easy, smooth process. Because I know a lot of parents and a lot of athletes, they have a lot of questions.
They do, especially when it comes to picking colleges, the recruiting process, the whole recruiting process in general. So what we're going to be doing is over the next several weeks is we're going to be putting together a series, like a part series of the NCAA rules and regulations on what you need to do as far as going through that rigorous recruiting process for those student athletes that are really looking into going to a college or university and that kind of thing to play sports.
Especially if you want to play at the D1 level. Right. You definitely need to pay attention. You need to know all the rules and know all of what you need to do to get to those big colleges, the elites, the Ivy League colleges. They're different from the regular, colleges. So you need to know the differences.
So you got D1, D2, D3. So they each have their own kind of set of rules and regulations and things you need to go through. And
especially if you got to go to a 2-year college or a JUCO or community college. Some people have to go to college
there are always
prep.
Different paths.
Right.
Like they say, different paths to the draft.
Because if you don't have the grades and that kind of thing, you might have to do college prep, which they can prep you and
get you prepared for an actual 4-year university.
Exactly. So there's all ways for you to get there. The key is getting there.
Right. And the knowledge. And knowledge is power because the more knowledge you know and the sooner you can get that knowledge and understanding and start filtering through it and get on the right path and the right track, you're in a good place.
Exactly. So even for you, for the parents, once your kids say they want to play sports, there goes the questions.
Right.
You better get the answers to the questions. Because now youth sports is blowing up so huge. We got to get the knowledge to the kids as they get younger so we can prepare them. Just like training.
Right.
Everybody's training their kids younger and younger and younger for these specific positions in their sport. And so, they need to get the knowledge.
We need to train them for this recruiting process.
Exactly.
To take their game to the next level. Because that's ultimately our goal. We love to see these kids go to the next level.
Exactly.
And play at the next level.
And get an education at the next level.
Exactly.
Education is so important.
It is.
Regardless of whether you play sports or not. Education is so important.
Right. And if you can use sports to get to that next level, to get a free education or a partial scholarship for education, it's so valuable. It's so important. because it's not what you learn just in the classroom. It's the environment. It's the social skills. It's the life skills that you learn being on a campus, being away from your parents, not being codependent on them, being independent, maturing. It's a lot you learn when you're off to college. So we encourage that.
So if you got any questions, any comments, concerns, or whatever, chime in. Let us know. Hit us up. Yep. Put it down in the chats, in the comments, or whatever, and we'll try to get them in as best as we can.
Right.
Hey, but before we get into it, I want y'all to say hi to Sammy. Look at Sammy back there. Hey, Sammy.
Say hey, Sammy.
Sammy munching on a nut. He's eating. He's ready to get it in and drop some knowledge. Go, Sammy. Go, Sammy. That ain't right. Y'all don't know about that.
I love it.
Sammy get his hype pump. We ready.
Hey, a little mascot.
Exactly.
So it's our little Christmas gift.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
Awesome. So what we're going to do, we're going to go to the website now.
Let's go to the website.
We're going to go to the NCAA.org Eligibility Center.
Right.
Their website. They got a nice guide. Like I was saying, this is going to be a several part series that we're going to do. I'm going to move us over here so we can get it in. Make us a little bit larger so you guys can see us.
See us and get us in. Hey, if you're on our Instagram, you can go to our YouTube channel and see the show right now and see the grass, everything that we're doing. But if not, you can stay here and hang out with us on Instagram.
Please do.
Hey, Facebook, Twitter, wherever you at, hit us up.
Right.
Make sure you subscribe to that YouTube channel.
So this is the guide to the NCAA Eligibility Center for student athletes, pretty much. It's a big pamphlet, and it kind of goes through everything. So we're going to be doing a part series on these different topics that are within this guide. Right. So today we're talking about
thick
we're talking about the questions you need to ask, which is so important because a lot of young athletes they freeze.
Right.
They don't know what to ask the coaches or what to ask the student body or the staff and all that kind of thing at the university. So we're gonna kind of walk you through that. So stay with us. All right. So I'm gonna read that. It says, let's see. While you are on a campus visit, consider asking questions about these topics to learn more about the school, athletics program, and life on campus. You also can get suggestions to questions to ask coaches and administrators at the NCAA. But the first thing we're going to talk about is academic resources. So what you want to do is you really want to ask your schools about what resources do they have available as far as academic wise.
Right. What academic programs, what academic support programs are available to the student athlete?
Right.
So that's what you want to ask them, because if you need some kind of support with your academics, you need to know if this school is going to be able to help you.
And also what you're going to major in. You want to know that school has your major and they have all the supporting classes that's going to get you to the next level for your career beyond football.
Exactly.
Or
basketball, baseball, whatever sport.
Track and field, whatever sport it is.
You want to make sure that school can support you as a student to become a better student. That's it. That's what the academic resources is. Yep, so you just ask that vital question. What academic support programs are available to student athletes?
Right. All right, so we're going to keep it moving here with scholarship renewals.
And that's a big one.
Right. You definitely want to know about what kind of scholarships you are getting, whether it's a full ride, a partial. You want to know about the renewal of that scholarship. What are the criteria? What do you need to have academic-wise and everything else to be eligible for that scholarship to keep on? Is it just a one-year deal?
Exactly.
Or is it all 4 years?
Exactly.
Those are important questions that you really should be asking.
And you should know what's in the scholarship. Does it cover books, room and board, tuition, food? What is included in that scholarship? And this is a question that a lot of athletes forget to ask. If your coach moves to another school, is your scholarship intact? You know what I'm saying?
That's a good one.
Yeah, so a lot of people, with coaches moving, now you got this open portal, kids can move. You need to figure out whether that scholarship can be transferred to the next institution. Because a lot of times, it probably can't.
You definitely ask whether those meals are in there. Can you imagine getting to college and you don't have that meal plan? Gotta ask those questions. They so important. All right, the next one we're going to look into is financial aid and cost of attendance. You definitely want to know that,
right.
Especially if you're not getting a full ride where you just know everything. Your expenses are going to be taken care of.
So you definitely need to know what's available as far as your academic school year, how much you're going to get. And if you need to go to school this summer, you need to know if there's funds available for that.
Right.
Because that's where a lot of people skip because, they're thinking, oh, it covers everything. But if you're doing sports and you get behind in your classes and you got to make them up in the summer, is that academic scholarship going to cover that? That's a question you need to ask. And so that kind of like, brings it in together of how much money you're going to get, where you can allocate all those funds, and what's it's actually going to cover.
Right.
You definitely need to know that.
Okay, the next one is going to be admissions requirement. What is it going to take to get into that school? What my grades need to be? What my SATs or ACT scores need to be at? What are those requirements to get in there? And if you're going to be a stud athlete and you're trying to get that full ride D1 scholarship, you need to know what kind of player do I need to be to get that full ride. But, other questions you can ask is definitely what grades you need to have. What are your transcripts need to look like? Do you need to have extracurricular activities?
Yeah.
On your transcript. Do you need to have volunteer services? That kind of thing.
Somebody's asking a question up here. Let's see.
What's the question?
They want to go to college. Will y'all be able to talk about different classes or different programs or different schools that we can go to? Well, actually, I guess it depends on, you need to let us know, like, what sport you playing, if you playing a sport, or is it just academics you going for?
Right.
Then we can go ahead and, once you send us those informations, put it down in a comment.
Right.
Then we can try to research further what schools, what's their criteria.
Which would be a good fit for what you're trying to do.
Exactly, because there's a lot of schools.
And classes are so important too. That's a great question you had. Because a lot of people don't realize that, you need to balance your class load with whichever sport you're going to be playing. Because if you have a fall sport, you don't want to have a heavy class load in the fall. And if you have a spring sport, you don't want to have a heavy class load in the spring. You want to kind of balance it out. So when you're in your off season, you can really focus hard on your academics, on those harder classes. Exactly. That's a great question.
And we're definitely going to have another part to this far as, like, if you're in high school, what courses that you need to already have to get into that college.
Yes, what are they looking for?
Exactly, because you have the regular, D1 school, then you have the Ivy League schools. The requirements are different to get in. You need certain kind of classes, courses, the SAT, the ACT.
Even the NCAA requires certain kind of classes to take in high school that a lot of athletes need to be up on. You need to go to their website and make sure those classes and courses you're taking in high school are NCAA courses if you plan on being an athlete, a student athlete at a D1, D2 level. All right, so let's keep it pushing.
What we got?
The next one would be study abroad internships.
So that's a question you can ask. Are they internships? Because your major, whatever major you're majoring in, you may want to do some internships. So you need to ask that. And if it's, you need to adjust that with your schedule with your athletics. So those are good questions. You could just kind of ask them, to keep you going.
Right. The next one would be athletic training and medical expenses, which is pretty. That is a really good question.
Expenses is a great question because you need to figure out who has to have the medical. Do you have to come with your own medical in school, or is the school going to provide medical? So that's one. Medical insurance is required for. Is it required for your participation, and is the school going to provide that insurance? So you may, have to require to have proof of insurance in order to play. So as an athlete, you definitely want to ask the institution who has the medical insurance, because if you get hurt or something, goes wrong, who's paying for that?
Right.
So you need to ask if you're seriously injured while competing, who is responsible? Like I said, for the medical expenses. So you got to just, you need to ask. That's a very important question.
Yeah, because we just had an incident I seen on one of the social media posts the other day with a father who had their son in a college that was far away from him and got injured playing football. And he felt that the coaches weren't taking care of his needs as far as getting him the medical care that he deserved. And, he was very unhappy with that program and ended up transferring his son out of there. So, you definitely want to ask those questions. What will happen, if something happened to you as far as medical wise, you know.
Exactly. Who is definitely responsible. And as far as with the training and stuff, you want to ask what the expectations do you have as far as training and conditioning. Those are questions you definitely want to ask the coach and that kind of thing.
Right. So moving on, we have degree programs and graduation rates. So you want to know if they have a good graduation rate. That kind of tells you whether it's a good school or program.
Right.
Because it's kind of going to tell you how your successful rate. I guess once you leave that college, you want to know that kids are graduating and moving on, being successful. And what kind of degree programs? Like I was saying before, you definitely want to have go to a school that has something that you're going to be interested in, that you want to pursue in life.
Right.
Because after the sport, whether it's football, whatever, any kind of sport, your career is going to start after college, and you want to make sure you have those classes, that experience, that exposure to that career path, pretty much.
Yeah, and you want to ask the coach, like, what percentage of the team actually graduates? Because that's kind of important. Let you know whether they're really into the total athlete and they're helping their kids be successful long after athletics.
Because it's a very short percentage that's going to go from college into the NFL or to the NBA or playing professional sports in general. So if you're not going to go pro in any of those sports, then you want to make sure you do graduate from that university and you do have those skills to propel your career to the next level.
And you want to see if they have any kind of programs for after graduation that can help you in your field.
Yep.
If you don't go into your sport, it can at least get, you can start your career off. Some, schools actually have programs to help you after you graduate. So you need to ask those questions. What kind of programs do you have after I graduate?
All right. And this one here, team time demands.
Yes.
Yeah, how long practices, workout,
study hall, that kind of thing. What is the typical day of an athletic student, of a student athlete? That's what you need to ask. So they can go through each, how your day is. When you wake up, what time you wake up, lunch time, breakfast time, dinner time, where you your workout, lifting weights, your study hall, what time is your classes. That's basically what you need to ask that question.
Right.
Team time, what you going to be doing with the team. You need to get that schedule going.
Right. On-campus housing. You definitely want to know about on-campus housing. Like a lot of your large universities want their freshmen to stay on campus at least for the first year.
So that's a question you need to ask. Do you have to stay on campus as an athlete?
And if you're not going as an athlete, you're just going strictly academic, sometimes you might want to stay off campus if it's cheaper for you, if you don't have a full scholarship or something like that. So those are important questions to ask, because some universities mandate it, all freshmen must stay on campus. So therefore, you'll be paying for room and board.
Right.
All right. Next one, we're talking about coaching philosophy and style. That is very important in any sport that you're pursuing at the next level and the collegiate level. You want to make sure their philosophy and how they coach and their style fits you.
Exactly.
Because too often people go places and they find out that the coach, their demands or their attitude or what they're about is not what you're about. And it kind of conflicts.
And some questions you need to ask too is like, when does the head coach or any of the coaches that you like really on a team, when does their contract end? That's a question a lot of people miss. And how long does the coach intend to stay there? Because you could be a junior, senior, and you're looking at this school, but by the time you graduate, the coach could be gone.
Right. So that's a great question to ask.
Exactly.
How long is their contract at that university or college?
And then you can ask them, how do you best describe your coaching style? Like she said earlier, so you'll know if you're best fit. So those are the kind of the basic question.
Right.
What kind of style do you have? You're passing offense, you're running offense.
You can ask that.
For football, basketball,
Questions are good things to help you guys with, because I know you guys are still young, coming out of high school. They can be kind of intimidating.
So write these questions down. You can take them, use them, so you can really get information and not just sit there
and practice them.
Exactly. When the people ask and they say, "Well, you have any questions?" and then you be like, "No." They're like, oh, okay, they might not have really processed all of what we're saying here. But if you have some questions, you get the dialogue. They can kind of feel your personality. You can feel their personality. Yeah, shows that you're a leader. You're smart. You're observant. You know some things.
You're taking the time to ask questions. Taking the time to notice what's going on around you. Okay, what about injuries and rehabilitation? That kind of goes in with the medical expenses and all that kind of stuff too. We kind of spoke about that on that end. But you got any questions?
So you need to, ask them who's responsible if you're injured. Basically, who's financially responsible if you're injured while competing in your sport.
If you get injured, what kind of rehabilitation do you have available?
Exactly.
Now, a lot of these universities have some really good
nice
stuff.
facilities.
Yes. Some don't, like especially your D3s or D2s. You can find some schools that's not quite there, but you can go to some big universities and have some elaborate centers for rehabilitations. So that's really good to even take a tour and really ask a lot of questions about that and how available is it to you.
And here's a big question: if you get injured, do you still get to keep your scholarship? Because not every institution will continue to provide, student athletes with a scholarship if they're not no longer competing on the field. That's a great question you need to ask.
A lot of people probably overlook.
Exactly.
Because I wouldn't have thought to ask that.
Nope.
You think once you get the scholarship, you just have it. It's just yours.
But it's a competing. You got to be playing. That's why it's important to read everything and have a team of people around you that can really help you and look at this stuff.
Like TwinSportsTV. That's what we're here for.
Hit us up.
Right.
We want some answers. Hit us up.
All right, what about graduation rates? I kind of go back to the other question that we had about graduation rate with the degree and diploma. But you definitely want to ask that. That's pretty simple. Let's keep it pushing on this one. Schedule, planning, and time management.
Yeah, that's so important.
It is.
So I'm sure once you get there, you need to just ask the coach, what is the daily routine? What's the day like? And then you need to start scheduling and planning. Once you get your classes, you got to fit it in with whatever what the athletes do during the day, with the workouts, the practices, and all that kind of stuff. So that's why high school, your parents are trying to prepare you,
right?
Because when you get to college, ain't nobody gonna be on your back.
No,
you got to do it on your own. You got to get that schedule. You got to wake up. You got to do everything.
You got to eat right.
You're grown. You're out of here.
Right.
You can do it though.
You can.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Next one. Playing time. You definitely want to ask this question.
Yeah. Basically,
you want to know,
what's up? Yeah. How many quarterbacks is on deck? Where do I fit in? If I'm basketball, am I getting on the court?
Right.
I know it's only 5 at a time.
You have, am I getting a shot this year? Or how many years is it going to take to get in there?
Exactly.
Even with the other sports, the track and field and all of that. A lot of people running fast. Coach, when am I getting there? When my speed going to be shown?
Exactly. You're going to be a red shirt for the first year. What you going to do?
Exactly.
So, you need to ask these questions because it's very important. Playing time. You definitely want to get on that field. So you want to go to an institution that's going to allow you to get the experience and exposure.
Right.
You can't do that sitting on the sideline.
Right. So it's not all the time about going to the biggest university with the most championships, the hoopla and all the glitz and glamour.
But you know what? You got to be real too. Yep. Because if you do need that time to be patient and watch, learn, and look. Because a lot of athletes, these top-notch athletes coming out of high school, they might not have all of the tangibles that university or institution is looking for, and they need to grow a little more.
Right. Or they might not be mature enough for their program, so it might take them a year or two to sit back and learn and look and watch and observe from people that are older than them or got more experience than them.
But you need to ask that question with the coach to make sure you know where you're in line at.
Yeah, where you fit in. What's the depth chart?
Because you need, that's important.
It is.
Because you can't sit there for 4 years and you only have 4 years eligibility.
Right.
So you need to know. That's a great question. What else? Playing time.
Next one. That was it. Playing time. Mental health resources. Definitely. A lot of ups and downs when going to college. You're away from home. You're out of your comfort zone. A lot of kids need this more mental health than they let on.
Right.
Things can get tough. Things can get rough. A lot of times your situation isn't, you're not coming from a background that just, hey, you have it all,
Right.
And then you're going to a new environment, or you might be a kid that's from the rural going into an inner city, or vice versa, inner city kid going into a whole nother environment that they're not used to. Take some adjustments to happen. So they need mental health. It's so important, and we want to encourage you guys. Anytime you're feeling like you're down or depressed or have anxiety and that kind of, it's okay to get help. It's okay to talk to somebody. it's okay that you just that you use those resources, and it's a
Exactly.
beautiful thing that those resources are available. So you definitely want to ask the questions to those colleges.
Right.
What resources are available for those kind of things?
And you can actually ask them like any kind of mentoring programs there.
Right.
Big brother, big sister kind of type thing. Because
Yep.
they're so important.
They
Because they
are.
can help you navigate through this college life much easier and faster than the average if you're doing it all by yourself. And you know, that's what sports teaches is teamwork, togetherness, respect, to help one another. So definitely don't be ashamed to ask. Don't be ashamed to ask for help, ask questions. It's important that you do so.
Your nutritional health, your academic health, your well-being, your
mental health is
it's
so
all
important.
so important for the total package.
Right. Because some people have like anxieties before games or when they're doing stuff. So, you know, you might want to get help for that, or you might just want to be around people that can encourage you and get those butterflies out to help you. So, you know, it's all kind of things.
Or the mental health of just battling the schoolwork with the sport.
That's important. Because a lot of people are so into the sport, and then they don't know how to get
manage that time. Don't have that time management down for the academics.
You know, the high school kids and video games. You know, the schoolwork, video games. Which one should I do?
Right.
You know, you gotta balance it.
That's what they're gonna do, and that's what's gonna catch up with them when they get to college. So
we gotta limit those video games. We don't mind you playing them games; it's cool, but you gotta limit it and still get your work done.
You gotta know what's first.
So the faster you get your work done and you learn it, you can get to the other stuff.
Right.
Nobody has a problem with that. Nobody.
We want to have fun
exactly. But we gotta study. We gotta research. We gotta do all this stuff. We gotta put this show together. It just don't fly up here.
Right.
So we gotta do our research. We gotta study and do our homework as well.
Yeah.
And then we want to have some fun.
We do.
We ain't playing.
Yeah.
Hey, it's 2021. We want to have some fun. It's just begun. We getting it in. We shining like the sun. Hey, I'm just joking.
Yeah.
We appreciate y'all for tuning in, turning up with us. We love it. This is like a multi-part series.
Yep.
So if you got a lot of questions, comments, concerns, put them down there. We'll try our best to answer them to get back with you. But definitely stay tuned for all of the shows that we're going to have coming up. We'll try to answer all your questions through these shows and that kind of thing, so you guys can have like a resource base. Because it's hard in high school when you're an athlete and you don't know where to go. Right. Sometimes you have parents that are really involved and sometimes you don't.
Right.
So for those athletes who don't have parents that are involved, we'll be your parents.
Yeah.
We love all y'all. We want to see y'all be successful, and we definitely want to see y'all go to the next level. And college, definitely.
You want to go for early childhood development? That's a good one.
We love it.
We do. Also, we got Alonzo Johnson.
Hey, all smiles on that one. We appreciate it.
Yeah, awesome.
So I'm just saying, definitely information that's worth listening to. So we'll have other links and that kind of thing, so you can definitely dive in and go back and get information. That way you can keep rewinding this stuff and hearing. So some of these questions, you know, may come up, and you can just go back, write them down, write some of the answers down, so you can keep all the stuff with you. And you know, be smart. But you know, in order to be smart, you got to be prepared.
You do.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what we're here to tell you, to be prepared, be smart. You can do it. TwinSportsTV, we have faith in you. You can do it. We by your side. We right there. We were right there. See Sammy right here by us? Hey, we right there with you.
Go Sammy.
Go Sammy. Go Sammy. Hey.
Go Sammy.
I'm saying, let's get it in. TwinSportsTV, Twin Talk. We in the building. We thank y'all for being in the building. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Make sure y'all stay tuned. We'll be back quicker than you can think.
So be your best self,
because the best is yet to come. Woo!